Okay, so we've been talking a little bit about Bernie Sanders not yet having released his tax returns. Supposedly, he's going to be releasing them early next week. He should. I've said this before. I'm going to take an audience question about this tomorrow. I think it's really important to understand that with Donald Trump, he doesn't want people to know that he's not as wealthy as he claims to be. There is speculation with Bernie Sanders that it's the opposite, that Bernie is wealthier than maybe people imagine that he is, or maybe his rhetoric might imply that he is. And there are more and more people pointing out, including on corporate media, but also in kind of the independent media circles, that Bernie Sanders is probably a millionaire, and that this will sort of put into question his credentials as the fight for the little guy candidate that he claims to be. And I want to just destroy this narrative completely. And to do that, we've got to break it down into two parts, okay? The first part is, let's assume Bernie's a millionaire. What does that mean generally in terms of his financial position? And then, if indeed he is a millionaire, what does this mean in terms of his political positions and how we should interpret them? Okay, and this is, I've not decided who I'm supporting in the 2020 primary, but this is a really dumb criticism of Bernie Sanders, and I'm going to tell you exactly why on multiple levels. First of all, I know that there are some people in the audience who will go nuts about me saying this, and they'll say, David, you are so disconnected from the reality of what's going on in the United States. Bernie Sanders being a millionaire at age 77 is not a huge deal, and it's also not exorbitantly wealthy. And I know people will say, David, there are tons of people who can never retire, who have not even $10,000 in savings when they're in their mid-70s. And I understand that, and that's not untrue. But let's just look at the data, okay? Let's assume Bernie Sanders has a net worth of $1 million, just to pick a number. Maybe it ends up being more. I don't know. Bernie Sanders is 77 years old, okay? $1 million net worth at age 77 is not statistically unusual. This is not my opinion, okay? I'm just telling you what the data is. If you look at 2016 Federal Reserve data for people in the United States age 75 to 79, the mean wealth is $233,000 and the median wealth is $1.1 million. I am not making a comment on anything other than, for Bernie's age, it's a fact that half of the country has more wealth than Bernie and half of the country has less wealth than Bernie. That's what it means that Bernie basically has the median net worth for someone his age. So when we talk about senators with $40 million and all of this, Bernie Sanders is not in that league, okay? He's been working for 60 years. He's been earning money, a good salary as a member of the House of Representatives and more recently the Senate. Presumably, he's been saving money. Compound interest is a thing, and I know that the term millionaire is very loaded, and in a sense, it shouldn't be in this particular case. If Bernie's net worth is $1 million or $1.1 million, he's in the 50th percentile for people his age, using the median as our indicator. Those numbers are also 3 years old, meaning that 1.1 million today might more closely be the 48th percentile or the 46th percentile. I've not seen 2019 data. So that's number one, all right? But I don't even care about that. We should know the numbers, but there's a really more important issue here. You can be poor and advocate for policies that help the rich. Look at the 2010 Tea Party movement. You had people who weren't rich and were likely never going to be rich pushing for tax cuts for the rich and cuts to capital gains taxes and stuff that would never affect them. In the same way, you can be median wealthy or rich or whatever and advocate for policies that are going to help the poor and middle class. Trump's super wealthy. If his policies were good for the lower and middle class, who cares that he's super wealthy? Bernie has made ultra clear what his policies are. The fact that he has achieved, as a 77-year-old man, median net worth in the United States doesn't change what his policies are, as long as we believe that his policies are the right one. There are rich people like Tom Steyer and other so-called patriotic millionaires, even billionaires, who have a ton of money, but they have the right ideas. Now, the one criticism you can make is you can argue it's harder for someone who's been super wealthy for a really long time to even understand the plight of those who aren't wealthy. That's a fair criticism. But then let's actually see if they get it or if they don't. Bernie Sanders has not been super wealthy his entire life. By every indication, he has achieved roughly median net worth at age 77. When Trump confuses health insurance and life insurance, it's pretty damn clear he doesn't get it. He's out of touch. He doesn't know what the day-to-day life of the average American is. I've seen no evidence that Bernie doesn't get it, and that's sort of where it starts and ends for me. And I think any factions of the left that are getting after Bernie for maybe having a net worth of $1 million, make a 180 and get the hell away from this argument, because it is a losing argument. If you disagree with me, if you think Bernie being a millionaire is problematic in some way, I want to hear from you. I'm on Instagram at david.pakman, and the show is on Instagram at David Pakman Show. Follow us there and let me know what you think. Today's program was made possible in part by Simple Habit, an app for iOS, Android, and web browser that gives you access to more than 2,000 guided meditations. You can try it free for 1 week by going to simplehabit.com/Pakman. Simple Habit has meditations made specifically for anxiety, falling asleep, overcoming procrastination, getting focused. There's a meditation for almost anything you are dealing with in life. And there is constantly new scientific research emerging about the benefits of meditating regarding your physical health, your mental well-being, your social life, your cognitive performance. It's a long list. I personally make meditation part of my day. I've been doing it for a while, and Simple Habit makes it incredibly easy to stick to a meditation routine. Each guided meditation is just 5 minutes long. They have meditations specifically designed for waking up, for your daily commute, when you get home from work, every part of your day. The massive variety of different kinds of meditations that Simple Habit offers is what really sets the app apart. And they just won the 2018 Google Play Award for Best Well-Being App. You can try it completely free for a week by going to simplehabit.com/Pakman. I think you'll love it. I've put a link right underneath this video.